Hello, how are you? Hola, ¿cómo están? I'm hoping you're doing well. Espero que bien. We are going to be doing something a little different today, something we haven't done. At least I haven't done it live. So I want to make sure that I show you what we're going to be doing, showing what items I have here in front of me. But first and foremost, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. Give me thumbs up as you go through the tutorial. If you like anything, enjoyed anything, or just had a quick laugh, give me thumbs up. The thumbs up help me decide what items to continue to do, what to do more of, what you enjoyed. So if I don't get the thumbs up, I kind of try to keep on trying something new. So let me know what you like by giving me thumbs up, and that way I can keep on going. So also ring that doorbell. As I say, ring the bell. If you click on that bell, it'll also give you notifications. If you're not subscribed to my email list, it'll notify you of anything with regards to YouTube. Now, if you subscribe to the email list, as we have news, because I don't bombard you with email, I promise. I don't do emails like every other day or much less every week or anything like that. So, but anytime that there's something new that I want to make sure that everybody's aware of, whether it's a special or sale, or if we're going to do something different on YouTube or adding new things to the shop, that type of thing, I will notify you via that email. I'll do a little email list blast that I send out. So do sign up for that. You do also get a discount for doing so, and we do have rewards that you can join as well, and that way you can find out about all the good stuff that otherwise you may not find out about. So going to change out, trying to make sure my cameras are working. We kind of change one of the views of the camera, so let me know also how it looks to you. We're going to be doing the usual. I'm going to change the view of the camera, but I want to show you this nice lantern. We got this a long time ago. And we thought, well, once we set it up and dress it up and all that, then we can only use it for that one, that one season or that one holiday. And I thought, there's ways around that. So that's what we're going to be working on today. We're going to do just a quick way of showing you, nothing too intensive, of how you can use a lantern over and over again, and decorate it very easily from one season to the next, one holiday to the next, and so on. So I'm going to give you just those ideas. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I do, and then you can adapt them from there. So it's going to be fairly easy. I do have some florals that we can also use. So I did pull, I'm getting all tongue-tied, pull some of those and some greenery. And I do have out, in case you haven't seen that video, because I already have them made, I did pull out some bows that I've made, and I do have the tutorials for these actually specifically. If you haven't, you could also do a replay on that to see how I made these beautiful bows, that just to give you an idea on like changing things out. So since they're already made, you're not going to get to see that on this tutorial, but please do go back and watch the tutorial on that if you want to learn how to make these bows, because we're going to be using them. And then you could also just change your ribbon accordingly based on the season and the holiday to make it easier for what we're going to be working on today. So changing that camera view so that you can see a little bit more, and I want to make sure you can see the top. So so you should still be able to see me on the corner, upper corner, but I want to make sure you have that top view. So I'm going to be moving my keyboard out of the way, and we're going to pretty much get started. All we will need today, possibly, and maybe not even, will be wire cutters. And then, of course, the supplies that you want to have for decorating your centerpiece. In this case, we're going to be going with bows, and we can add some florals in or some greenery. But we're going to keep it really simple, because the key for me today is to show you how easy it can be to just change it out from one season to another. So main thing here is to be able to attach things and not have to glue. We don't want to glue. We don't want to tie it in so much that we can't change it out. That's the whole idea, right? So that's where all of these tips come in. So we're not going to be gluing anything or doing anything too crazy, but I want to give you some ideas on how you can attach florals to a lantern. I'm going to actually turn this over so that we can see it a little bit better. For mine, and this is something that you'll have to look on your lantern to see if you have, depending on the design of your lantern, there's usually some little holes that you can use to either run the chenille stems or pipe cleaners or a little bit of wire through, or you could also run it through, if you're not going to hang it, you could also run it through on the ring that may be on top. So this is how we're going to be attaching our florals, our greenery, our bow, whatever we decide we're going to be doing. We're going to be using those options, so that way we can easily just remove whatever top item that is for a particular season or holiday, and we can leave our greenery and then just put on something else right on top of it. That's the idea. So thought about using these because they are pretty much spread out and they cover a lot of territory, and the stem is pretty long, so then we can use the actual stem itself to wrap it around. And usually we want to make sure it kind of expands out for when we're doing florals with the lanterns. So I'm just going to run it through. Mine happens to have holes right up here, so I'm just running it through and then wrapping that stem around and tucking it in, so that way it won't snap. Now, depending on your lantern, again, you would have to kind of see which way might be best for you with regards to what little holes may be on your lantern. There's also some going to kind of, so if you don't have any here like I do, there's usually some right on top. Hopefully you can see that. So you could also use those, and then just have your florals kind of go more towards your front. Okay. So no wrong way of doing this. This is going to be based on the type of lantern that you have. Of course, the color, because if you have, for example, a dark lantern like I do, probably the blue bow could go, but may not be as the best choice. May want to go with a different choice, like do a red one. Or like I'm going to do all three colors, since we have 4th of July coming up. I'm going to make sure all three colors stand out. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing, but on the other side. So I'm just going to, again, run it through and wrap it around. And because these are the actual stems of the florals, easier to just bend them and tuck them in, and then just move your florals as you need to, because it's wired. So then you can move them down a little bit sideways, depending if you want them to show more towards the front, and so on. Okay, so we have some greenery. Now, if you're not going to use a bow, you could also use flowers, and of course you can change out your flowers based on the season, the occasion. If it's a wedding, that's why I brought these white ones out. You can dress it up for a wedding and do the same thing, just kind of tuck it all throughout with the little holes, or you can attach them using chenille stems. So again, it's just takes some working based on the style of your lantern. That's why I'm kind of not being too, I don't want to say specific, but it's going to vary, since mine has got a certain design. Yours may not have the same design as mine. So that's why I'm kind of leaving very general, so that you can kind of make that decision based on the type of lantern that you have. Just want to make sure I give you the ideas today. But if any questions, do let me know. By way of comment, just type in a comment, let me know, and I can see if I can address those questions while we're here live. Or if you're watching the replay afterwards, I do check the comments periodically, so just leave me a comment and I can definitely answer the questions then. So another thing you can do here, of course, removing the don't leave the ticket. You could also add your flowers straight on in, like so, on each side, and then you could put your bow in the middle. Another way to do it, if you know you're going to be reusing your bow at every season, just glue it onto the bow. If you're not going to use the bow for anything else, you can glue it directly onto the bow and work it in. I have a tutorial on that as well, on adding the florals directly onto the bows, and I do that on some of my wreaths as well, because you want to make sure the florals get worked into the bow. So that's another way of doing that. So just different tips. So on here, what I want to show you is how to attach your bow. You would have to decide if you want it mainly towards the front, and if you want your tails to be where you want your tails to be, basically, if you want to spread them out. Now, on the inside, of course, you could do even more for your design, for your decoration. You could put a candle in it, you could put more flowers and different things. So your bow, if you see me make the bows, I always have wire on the back of mine, and you could attach it as well. I'm going to move this over a little bit so I can turn this around. You can see that there's a wire here, because I do mine with wires, do like a boutique style. You can attach the chenille stem to that, and then use the chenille stem to attach it to your lantern. Because the key is, once you have this wire in here, to not have to move the wire so much, because if you move it too much, then it might get thinned out, and then it will more than likely just break on you. So I just wrap the chenille stem around it, so I will move it less, and just tighten it just like you do with wreaths. You just kind of do a little twist so that way it'll stay put, and then that is what you will use to attach it to your lantern. Same thing if you're attaching it to a wreath or a swag. We don't use the actual wire itself, or the just lost my train of thought there. The zip tie is what I was trying to think of. You will use an additional zip tie, not the same zip tie that you have tied onto your bow. So I'm just kind of tucking the wire so it'll be out of the way, and then we'll use our chenille stem to attach our bow. And then, of course, now that I squished it, we'll have to do some fluffing. Not too much though, doesn't look too bad. Guess I didn't do too much squishing. And then move your tails on your bow wherever you would like to position them. If you want to spread them out or have them all together, entirely up to you. Now, once we attach the bow, it doesn't mean that it's over. We can definitely do more, and we will. And I'll show you in just a second. Just want to make sure I attach this in here. And I'm just going to run it all the way to the back so I can easily just do a little tug and twist. Because we want to make sure this is easy, right? We want to be able to just continue to do it as needed whenever we want to do this again. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over here just so I can make sure I see my zip tie. And tighten it. So it'll be a quick and easy take on and off next time you want to change it out. So there is already. I'm going to kind of lay it flat here for a sec. Just kind of so that you can see. So this is what I meant by adding then some flowers. Now you can do individual flowers. Now, as you know, my tip is always to move that greenery up. Oops, just destroy that one. Nah, it'll be put, it can be put back together. Okay, so I'm going to do maybe 3. I don't think we need too many. Okay, so then this is what I meant by working in, and you may have to cut it if you're going to decide to, if you decide to do that. You may have to cut it smaller, or shorter rather, your stem, when you're going to be gluing it onto your bow. I'm trying not to do that on mine because I know I'm going to reuse this bow. And then you would work that in with the greenery around your bow, and you could use, of course, the different colors if you choose to do that. Or you could do it just on the side with your greenery, so it'll be an arrangement with that greenery, and that's it. Pretty easy easy peasy. But then turn that tip on your stem so that way they won't be coming out, because the idea again is not to glue anything unless you're going to reuse the same flowers over and over again. So I'm trying to run it through those little holes without seeing, so I can leave it turned the way that it is. But that way you can have flowers coming throughout. If you don't want to put it right on the bow and glue it on the bow, you can put it throughout your greenery. Okay, now this is my favorite thing to do, well, one of them. If you've seen any of my other tutorials, you know I like to use the vase fillers. So I'm going to bring that into view here so you can see what I mean. And I can move these flowers out of the way since we're not going to be using them. Okay, so these vase fillers, vase they sell them in little bags. Sometimes you can find them all in one color in the little bags, either at the dollar store or at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, any craft store. And sometimes they have them actually by theme. So they may have the red, white, and blue, you know, for patriotic, or during Christmas they'll have the green and the reds, and, you know, some gold and different things. So you would have to kind of look for that at different seasons to find them. I kind of tend to look for them every time I go to the store. I kind of do a quick perusing just to see what's out there when the seasons and holidays are changing. So a year or so ago, I got a lot of these. We have the red, white, blue stars. So we're going to be using some of those, and I'm going to show you how I attach them. So because they are styrofoam, you can use your actual chenille stem and just kind of slowly, easily poke it through. And now you have something that you can attach to your design, whether it's florals or your wreath swags, in this case a bow or lantern, to kind of add a little bit more oomph to your design. And you could do different ones and then put them together. So you continue to do the same thing until you get what you want. If you want to have all three colors together, or if you want to just do one of each color and spread them around, that will be your biggest decision when it comes to doing these. So I have 3 different sizes with all 3 different colors. So you could decide how you're going to put them together. So if you want all 3, then you would just do it this way and then just kind of give it a twist. And now you can just switch them out however you need to, like position them. Okay? And then you could attach that to your project. And you can cut these down if you need to, or you can leave them just as is, like I'm going to do, because I want to run it again through these holes, and I want them to extend out from the bow without attaching again anything to my bow as far as gluing, because we want to make sure we can reuse everything again. Okay, so I'm just going to keep on twisting to make sure it becomes just one thick chenille stem, and then we're going to attach it using those same holes. Okay. And because it's with the chenille stems, you can turn them any way you need to. Now you could also use floral wire. They sell the rolls of these also at the dollar store. If you want something thicker, something that would look smoother than the actual chenille stem, you could use that as well. So I'm going to do some with that just so I can show you how it looks. Of course, you will want to stay about doing the same throughout, but I want to show you something else that we can do. So I wanted to have some wire out, because it doesn't have to be just the stars. You can mix and match. And for this one, I'm going to go all the way through and start putting it together. I want to change out the sizes, so I'm going to get a small one. And you could decide, once you have these, you could decide which way you want to go, how you want to put them together. And what's so wonderful about it is that you can use the same method pretty much for anything. When you do your floral arrangements, your centerpieces, on your vases, you can keep on doing the same thing. And then it's easier to stick onto the styrofoam for your florals. Don't want pink. Alrighty. So hopefully we'll get the idea. And you can keep going depending on how full you want it to be. Let me hold that against my hand. And then you can stick that onto your florals or onto your bow. So it'll just be coming out through the bow, and you can continue adding that on to again spread that on. So you could do longer ones and attach it to the sides. It's not sticking to it since it's going to be indoors, no biggie. So let's see, we have red. Let me do another one with the chenille stems. And then you could make you a few bows, 1 or 2 for each different season or holiday. And then this will be an easy peasy thing to do. Just change out your bow, and you could leave your general florals on the bottom for an even easier change. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of different things here just to show you some different ideas. Something else you can do, and then use that to tie it in. Okay, the idea is to add more definition to your project, so there's no, again, no wrong way. Just gotta put things together and go from there. Don't let it scare you just because it's something different. And what I like about this is that you can use this for any project really. You can use it, again, like I mentioned, your wreaths, your swags, your florals, centerpieces, to attach things to your bows. Position how you would want it, and then attach it. Give it a twist, and now you have stars coming out on both sides. And then we have this one. We can make a couple more of those. Let's do a blue one. Again, just kind of slowly putting that in because you don't want to go too fast and it might go all the way through on you. How are we doing out there? So I would definitely recommend, as you do your shopping for your arts and crafts items, if you see any of these, they call them vase fillers, because you normally will put them inside a vase to kind of fill it in, and then you put your flowers in it, you know, for fake flowers. But I find that they come in handy for these things as well. I'm trying to get a different size ball. There we go. And with you using the actual floral wires, just like with the chenille stems, you can shape it again any way you want to. So I'll do another white and red, and then I'm going to put this on the bow so we can have it on 2 different places. But again, you decide how you want it to look for yours. I'm going to move this one more to the side by that flower, and do the same on this side. I'm basically just trying to tuck it in to where we won't have to glue anything in. And I kind of want this one on the bow without destroying it. Okay, let's do the same thing with this one. And then just find you, if you're using a pre-made bow, find you a spot, if you don't want to glue it, that you can actually put it through. And we can continue to add on and on and on, depending on how much you want to add. So I'm going to tilt this over just a little bit so you can kind of get the idea. I'm going to move it forward some. So there it is. So we can position these, since they're with the chenille stems, again, any way we want. Give them whatever direction we want to give them. And you could do the same thing with any kind of bow. So it could be for St. Patrick's Day, for Christmas, for Easter, spring, summer. And just change it out. You can leave the same greenery. The greenery gets pretty much good all year round. And then just attach a different bow to it for every season or holiday. So quick and easy. I'm going to stand it up and change the camera view so you could also see it the other way. There we go. Okay, and then remember, you could also do your candle in the middle on the inside, or you could do more florals, or a combination thereof. So gonna just kind of leave it like such. So if any questions, let me know again by way of comment. Don't forget, thumbs up for the tutorial, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and click on that bell so you can get notified of when we're going live or do a premiere or upload a video, so that way you'll be notified of those. And just keep an eye out on the discussions in case of any changes on the schedule with regards to coming on live and things like that, or sign up for that email list so that you can be notified of all the news going on with Especially Made for Me. So again, thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you again next week. Until then, keep creating, stay safe, and stay liquid. Bye-bye.